delete a variable using del keyboard. After deletion, if you are trying to access that variable, then the interpreter will throw name error because that variable is no longer exist. And if we want to explicitly delete any variable, we use del keyboard. But after it is used and no longer it is required, garbage collector used to clean or delete that variable. So it is nothing but automatic memory management of Python. Let us try to see one example. So I have taken two variables a and b. A is equal to 100, b is equal to 200. So just I am printing. So if I print, it is printing successfully 100 and 200. So let me delete the variable and let me try to print that again. So I have deleted the variable a. So thereafter, when I trying to access or print that variable, it is no longer exist. So that is the reason why we will get name error. And the immediate statement after this is also not executed. So it is very important how we can delete a variable. Operators in Python. So before going to operators, operator is a symbol which will perform an operation between two or more variables. Then we have different type of operators in Python as like different programming languages like arithmetic operators, comparison operators, logical operators. If we see arithmetic operators, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, exponentiation, and floor division. So these are the arithmetic operators. Let us try to see one example. So I have defined a as 10 and b as 3. So this is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulo, exponentiation, and this is floor division operation. And it is very important to note that always division operator performs floating point arithmetic. Hence, it is always returns float value. So similarly, float division can perform both floating point arithmetic and integral arithmetic. If the arguments are int type, then the result is int type. If at least one argument is float type, then the result is float type. It is very important. Let us try to execute the same. So if you see a plus b, a minus b, a into b, a divided by b. So as you seen before, as I said before, always division operator performs floating point arithmetic. So that is the reason why you see 3.333. And similarly, a modulo b. So modulus always returns remainder. So that is the reason why you see here. And a exponentiation of b 10 cube 3, it is 1000. And similarly, it is float division. Float division operator performs floating point arithmetic as well as integer arithmetic. If at least one argument is float type, then the result will be float type. But here in this case, both are integer type. So that is the reason why you are seeing only integer type as a result of float division operator. Comparison operators: equal, not equal, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Let us see an example. So I have defined x as 5 and y as 10. So let us see one by one. X is equal to y, x not equal to y, x less than y, x greater than y, x less than or equal to y, x greater than or equal to y. Let us see associated output values. So if you see, always the output of comparison or relational operators, which are nothing but the comparison operators, is always a Boolean value. Similarly, logical operators are also having the result as a Boolean value. So 5 is not equal to 10, false. So associated, true. X not equal to y, x less than y, true. And x greater than y, it is false. X less than or equal to y, it is true. X greater than or equal to y, it is false. Similarly, we will see another example, logical operators. Logical and, logical or, logical not. Let us try to see one example. As I have said before, logical as well as relational operators will have output as Boolean value. Let us try to see one by one. So I have taken P as true, Q as false. Let us try to execute. False, true, and false. So P and Q, P or Q, not P. P and Q is false. So for using logical and anyone is, if it is false, then the result whole will be false. So both should be true. For or anyone should be true, the result will be true. For negation, so it is not P. So not true, it is false. Not false, it is true. Similarly, we have another operators like assignment operators and bitwise operators. So most probably in our daily life, we will use arithmetic operators, comparison operators, logical operators only. But most probably we will also use assignment as well as bitwise operators. So these are the examples which I have provided in the material. And the other thing is, what is the integer value for the true logical operator? It is 1. And false Boolean value is 0. And if we give different values, and what are the respective outputs? If I give A, if true, and B as true, A and B is true, A or C is true, because both should be true. Then and output is true. Anyone should be true, or output is false. Not A, not true means false. So true, false, A and B false, A or C true. A false, B true, A and B false, A or C true. Not A, it is nothing but true. And similarly, A false, B false, A and B false, A or C false, because any one should be true, and for and both should be true. So as I said before, relational or comparison and logical operators will always return Boolean value, true or false. Concatenation is the process of combining two or more strings, list, or other iterable objects. Here, iterable objects means list, tuple, dictionary, set, project set, etc. into a single object. Most probably, we will use plus operator for concatenation. Let us try to see one example. So this is the concatenation operation example. So I am just using plus operator between two integers, so it will print the sum, like decimal and integer as well as decimal. This will print associated sum. And if we use concatenation operator between strings, it will perform concatenation operation. Let us try to see. If you see, it is performing the addition operation. So it is performing addition operation. So if you see here, it is performing concatenation operation. It is trying to combine or join two strings. Welcome is one string and Python is another string. So, and if you see here, as I have said before, true is having a value of 1 and false is having a value of 0. 1 plus 5 is 6. 0 plus 5 is 5 and 1 plus 1 is true. Very important point to remember, if we use concatenation operator, then both arguments should be of same data type. In this case, string data type. Otherwise, we will get an error. Let us try to see that. So let us try to comment this. Let us try to uncomment. So I am using here, one is int data type and the other is string data type. One is float data type and the other is string data type. One is boolean data type and the other is string data type. In this case, it is not valid. We will get type error. So if you see here, type error because unsupported operand. So concatenation operation, we should have both data types should be of same, like string, integer or like that. It is very important to have both operators or arguments should be of same data type. Up to now, we have seen the output by using print statement. Now, if I want to use variables for formatting the output, I will use formatting output. Like to format the output, I will use replacement operator and format method. Let us try to see one example. Let us try to take, my name is suppose Ravi, my salary is 25,000.25 and age is suppose 28. So if I want to print the output in a meaningful way, I will use replacement operator along with format method. So in the place of replacement operator, I have to use associated variables. Here I have used name variable. For this index, I have used salary variable. For here, I have used age variable. Let us try to print. Let us try to comment this. So if you see, it is a meaningful output. In the similar way, instead of empty replacement operator, I will specify indexes. Let us try to print. And similarly, instead of indexes, I will use any variables. So for these variables, I will use keyword arguments. So for every variable, I will send associated value here. So for X, I am sending name. For Z, I am sending age. And for Y, I am sending salary. Even though we change the order, the output will be in a meaningful way. Let us try to see. See, Ravi's salary is 25,000 and his age is 20. It is in the meaningful way. And similarly, if we don't want to use the replacement and format operation method, I can use this modules operator. So for strings, I will use percentages, and for decimals, I will use percentage D, and for float, I will use percentage F. Let us try to print the same. So here, Ravi's salary is 25,000 and his age is 28. This is the meaningful output. Suppose if I mention the decimal value here, I have to mention float here. Let us try to do that same. Let us try to print again. So Ravi's salary is 25,000.25 because it is representing the float value. So that is the reason why I have mentioned float. Up to now, we have seen how to specify a value to a variable. This is nothing but the static initialization of a variable. Like there is one variable, we will try to assign a value to it. So this is nothing but static input. And if you want to read the input from the keyboard, I will go for dynamic input method of Python. So for reading dynamic input from a keyboard, I will use input method. And whatever the value or the data I am reading through input method, it is always string data type. Let us try to see one example. Dynamic input. So let us take one approach. Let me comment this. Let me comment the another approach. So here I am reading number 1 and number 2. I'm just printing that enter first number in the console and enter second number in the console. Let us try to execute the same. So let me try to enter 10. Let me try to enter 20. If you see what is the type of num1, it is string data type. And what is the type of num2? It is string data type. And between strings, if I use plus, nothing but concatenation operator, it will combine those two strings. So that is the result why you see 10 and 20. So thereafter, what I am doing, I am converting the string data type of num1 to integer and string data type of num2 to integer. So thereafter, I am performing the addition. So if I perform the addition, 10 plus 20, it is 30. And similarly, I am converting the string to float, string to float. If you see, the floating point value is printed. Let us try to see another approach here. So this is approach 2. So instead of writing another step for converting, at the time of reading only, I am just converting that string to integer data type. So int of input of enter the first number, second number, and if I see the type, then definitely since I have converted this string type to integer data type, it is integer data type only. Let us try to see. Let us try to enter some 30 and 30. If I see, I have typecasted. Typecasted, it is nothing but converting from one data type to another data type. Here in this case, I have connected string data type to integer data type. Similarly, the num2 also. So that is the reason why it is having the data type of int. And if you see, if I perform the addition between two integers, then the result will be 60. 30 plus 30. This is how we will concatenate variables, we will format the variables, and we will read the dynamic value from the keyboard. Key takeaway is converting from one data type to another data type is called typecasting. Here we are converting string data type to integer data type. Flow control or control statements. Flow control describes the order in which statements will be executed in runtime. If you have multiple statements, in which order each statement should be executed will be decided by control statements or flow control. So in Python, we have three types of control flow statements or flow control statements: conditional statements, transfer statements, and iterative statements. So in this class, we will discuss about if, elif, else. So conditional statements, this itself says if the condition is true, then it will execute a certain steps. If the condition is false, then it will execute another set of steps. Let us try to see example. So this is conditional statements. This is simple if statement. So I am specifying x is equal to 10. I am checking the condition if x is greater than or not. So if x is greater than 5, then print statement should be executed. So x is 10 here, and if x is greater than 5, then print statement should be executed. Let us try to comment this. Let us try to execute. So if you see x is greater than 5, because the condition is true. If the condition is true, then it will go and execute what are the statements in the if block. So let us try to see if x is greater than 3. This is another condition. So x is greater than 5. So let us try to see another example. 15. If you see, this is not true. So that is the reason it has not executed this statement. So in this condition, if this condition is false, it has to go and execute some another set of steps. So that is possible in if else statement. Let me try to uncomment this. So here I am specifying y is equal to 3, and I am checking whether y is a even number or an odd number. So based on this condition, if it is even, then this expression should be equal to 0. If it is even, then it will print y is even, otherwise it will print odd. Let us try to execute. Yes, it is odd number. So that is the reason it has not printed what are the statements in the if block. It has printed and executed the statement in the else block. Similarly, if we have multiple statements to be checked, then we will use if elif else statement. Let us try to see. Here I am trying to check the grade of a student, whether he is having A grade, B grade, or C grade. So his grade value is 75. If the person is or the student is grade is greater than 90, then he can secure A grade. If the grade is not greater than or equal to 90, then it has to jump into this elif block. Then it will check whether the grade is greater than or equal to 80. So if it is not true, then it will go and check another elif condition. So if greater than or equal to 70, then it will try to print this. So if these conditions are not true, whatever the conditions we specified in if and elif blocks, then it will try to go and execute else. So if all the statements are false, then it will try to go and execute this else statement which is there in the else block. Let us try to execute the same. If I see grade is greater than or equal to 70, so that is the reason why the student has secured C grade. Similarly, I can use multiple statements, if statements. So that is nothing but if nested if. If we use multiple if statements inside if, then it is nothing but nested if statements. So what I am doing here, I have defined this if elif else block, and in if elif else block I have defined another if else loop. So a loop which is defined another if block is nothing but a nested if statement. Let us try to see. I am checking that whether number 15 is a positive number and even number or not. So I'm first checking whether it is greater than or equal to 0. So if I want to check whether a number is a positive number, exactly the condition should be number should be greater than 0. If it is less than 0 or equal to 0, it should go and print appropriate values. If it is equal to 0, if I given equal to 0 here, then it will print 0 because this condition will be true. And if it is less than 0, nothing but minus 15 or minus values, then it will go and execute this block. So let us try to execute in this case what it will print. So as we know, 15 is a positive number and it is an odd number. So that is the reason. First condition, it has checked whether the number is greater than or equal to 0. Yes, it is true. So if the number is greater than or greater than 0, it has to enter this body. So upon entering, it has checked whether the number is even number or not. So if it is even number and it is already positive, so it has printed positive and even. If it is not even, it will go and print positive and odd. So if it is 0, this condition will be false and this condition will be true. So let me try to print. You can see this will be 0. And similarly, if it is negative value, then this condition will false. This condition is also false. So these two conditions are false. So if both if and elif are false, then it will at last print else. So let us try to execute the same. You can see it is negative number. So up to here we have discussed about conditional statements of control flow, conditional statements. Tomorrow we will discuss